to talk to me about something, or you want me to see something like with your form, feel free to stay on at the end of class today. I'd be more than happy to look at that. Okay. So today's fitness class is going to be full body strength. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen many of you. I was away on holidays for a little while, so I know Coach Sierra was here. I hope you all were able to have a good session with her. So for equipment today, you're going to need 2 lighter weights. So I demonstrate with soup cans. It could be soup cans. If you have some dumbbells, I would say anything under 2 pounds. Water bottles work great. You can also use nothing. So if you are working with, I'm not sure if she's in here right now, but some of us might have some shoulder things going on. So if you have pain in your shoulders in any type of range, like above your head, you might just want to stick with body weight. And in that case, you can just do fists or hold something like super, super light. Okay, so that's one. Number 2, we're going to be using bands. I'm just demonstrating with 1 band, but if you have a series of bands, go ahead and have them on standby, because we will be using a couple different resistances. And I'll give it direction on the resistance as a general idea, but if I've spoken to you directly, some of you work with me independently or with Sierra and Natalia. So if you have been working on these exercises with any of us 3 individually and you use a different resistance than what I'm suggesting, go ahead and do what we did with you specifically, okay? And then last but not least, a dowel. So something that is wider than your shoulders, okay? And we need it to be comfortable to hold. So if you have issues like with gripping or slipping, and we'll just make sure everybody's on mute. Perfect. Yeah, just make sure everybody's on mute so that everyone can have a chance to hear. I know sometimes it just happens when we log on. So make sure if your hands are slipping, you can always put some gloves on or something like that to get a better grip. Okay, and that's all we're using. We're going to be using our bodies for the rest. Okay, so take a minute to gather your things, get some water, and we're going to sit nice and tall, sitting up either away from the back of your chair if you can. Okay, or you're going to be using your backrest. And in that sense, my trusty foam roller is not near me. Here it is. So typically you would want to put something behind your back if you are using a backrest, just to sit yourself up a little taller so that we're not in this slouched position like here, okay? So if you need that, go ahead and use that. Okay, and we're going to start with some release work. So this hand's going to be relaxed. We're going to come right into that pec muscle. So we're working right in and behind the breast tissue. So if you're somebody that has breast tissue, go ahead and go in and behind it to where the muscle is. If you don't, or you're male, it's going to look like you're working more like across your chest. So it's going to look a little bit different, but try and get into those muscles. We want to try and get some movement here, some fluidity between the fascia and the muscle, really getting it to move. We don't want to hurt ourselves, but we do want to have some pressure there. So you do want to make some change and no tension in the arm that you're working on. So this hand is completely relaxed down at the floor or down at my side. Okay, and from there we can start to work your way slowly up into subclavicle. So we're going to come right up into this area right under the collarbone here. There's a nice meaty section here, and we can work right in here. Okay, and some of us, I know we like to go, it feels nice to come into the shoulder here. That's fine. Do what works best for you. Okay, and really important when we're doing this, we are in that tall seated position. And then we're going to work up into traps. So I like to support my elbow with my hand. The traps are going to be right up in here. So you can work even up into the neck muscles here and right all the way, not on the bone, but just right out to the almost the middle of the shoulder here. And you can do like these seesawing actions. This can feel really nice. Some of us like to do these pinching actions here where we're actually grabbing the muscle and like pulling it. It doesn't feel nice, but it can actually create a lot of more length. So do what works best for you. And then if you're going up into the neck, it's just like the seesawing coming right up in here. So 30 more seconds. And slowly releasing that. Good. Same arm. I'm going to get you to bring it up over your head. And we're going to do some nice big activation slaps of the lats. So I'm reaching my hand as far as I can, like past my armpit, and I'm going all the way down, trying to get some movement or blood flow and awareness, I should say, not movement, right into these areas, because we're going to be doing a lot of lat activation today. And then you're going to finish that up. Give that a little shake. Just give your head a little nod or a little tip, and just see if you feel any more length in that one side. Okay, awesome. And then we're going to repeat. So other side, coming into that pec. Okay, the reason why I stress keeping this arm relaxed so much is because it will want to tense up. I can even feel it on me. Like if I go too deep, I start to protect with this shoulder. So just lighten it up a bit and make sure you're really being true to relaxing on that side. It's like a massage. If any of us have ever gotten a massage, if the practitioner goes too deep, we tense up, right? So sometimes soft is better because our body doesn't go into that protection mode. Okay, and then we're going to come right up into subclavicle, so right below that collarbone here. And you can take it out into the shoulder if that feels good for you. And I didn't say this at the beginning, but there are a few new people in here. So if you have any questions or comments during the workout, feel free to write in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer your questions or acknowledge your comment as soon as I'm done moving. Okay, so that's always an option. Okay, and now we're going to come into those traps. So supporting the elbow if you need it. We can do these nice seesaw movements here, and you can even come up into the neck if that feels good. Okay, and then some of us like to do the pinching, which you can do. Don't feel like you have to. Okay, and awesome. Another few seconds here. Good, and then we're gonna come in, we're gonna lift that arm, support it on the back of your head. Nice big activation slaps. Up and down. Going all the way as low as your hip almost. So you can get almost all the way to your hip. Really trying to reach up and over, like over behind your armpit. 3, 2, 1. Good, shake that out. Now check your neck. It should feel a little bit more even on both sides. Okay, all right, cat-cow, seated. So we're gonna take a chin tuck. 1, tucking, rounding all the way down. Slowly down to the floor. Eyes are looking back behind your legs. Take a deep breath down here. Slowly roll up. If you need to use your hands to walk yourself up, that's okay. Hands are going to go behind you, eyes to the sky, shoulder blades in your back pockets, and reach your head to the ceiling. Deep breath here. Okay, we're going to move full body today. So we're starting with the spine, tucking the chin, rounding in those spines all the way down until you can't round anymore. Deep breath. And slowly rolling up. Hands behind you, shoulder blades in your back pockets, eyes to the sky, heart to the ceiling, and squeeze. So I never really give this cue, but you should actively be thinking of that shoulder blade squeeze. So not only are they going down, but they're also going in towards each other. So that blueberry cue that we all know. And exhale, we're doing this again. Tucking the chin, rounding in the spine. Look at your toes, look down, look past your legs. Make sure you're moving nice and slow. If you get lightheaded or tend to get dizzy, there's no race. My tempo is just my tempo. You don't have to be at my tempo. You can move at any tempo you'd like. Slowly walk it up. Use your hands if you need to. Hands behind you, shoulder blades in your back pockets. Reach your heart to the ceiling. And deep breath here. Excellent. One more, friends, as a group. Here we go. Tucking that chin, rounding down. Slowly coming down. Deep breath down here. And awesome, slowly moving up. Last extension, I always love to end on an extension. Big deep breath here, shoulder blades squeezing, and we're gonna come back sitting tall. So we don't go to a slouch, we go to tall, and we're gonna reach up and over, hand either on your rim of your chair or the armrest, or hopefully you're not on a couch, and then reach up and over. So we're getting a supported reach. This isn't to the ceiling, folks, this is all the way over. And reach up and over. Good, other side, reach. I should be the only one on a couch. And up and over. Good, really nice, get that big side stretch. So this is hitting those lats that we stretched out at the beginning. Reach. Okay, if you wear a chest strap, this is a good opportunity to maybe loosen it or take it off, just so that you can get a little bit more stretch. Nice, and up and over. Everybody should be doing this seated. It's a different stretch when we're seated than standing here. So I really want everyone to be supported with their hips on a chair or a base. Excellent, reaching up and over. We have 2 more. Up. And again, reach up. And awesome, we're gonna take our head now, we're gonna gaze to the right, we're gonna come through center. We're gonna gaze to the left, coming through center. Right and center and left and center and right and center and left and center. Good, everybody sitting tall. Every time you rotate, you're getting taller. 2 more. Posture is so underrated. And looking up, eyes up, chin up, and center. And now we're gonna tuck the chin. So it's like we're grabbing something, feeling that nice big stretch in the back of the neck. And up, center, and tuck, and center, and up, and center, and tuck, and center, and again, up, center, and tuck. This will be your last one. Up, we're gonna go into tilts next, down, and then here we go, tilting. So when we do this, most people, if they're not using something to look at, I tend to see this and they turn their chin. This is a really hard one because a lot of us have tension there. So that's why we loosened up the traps at the beginning to try and help. So keep that chin forward. I don't know if anybody of you can see like yourself. If you make yourself big on the screen, or if you try this in the mirror, you should never have your chin leave front. Okay, and if it does, we might be trying to go too far. So maybe your tip is just really little, but it'll get bigger with time. We just don't want to take that chin off of that midline. Otherwise, we start to hit other muscles to stretch, and we want to hit these side ones. Last 2. And awesome. Good. Now we're going to reach straight up to the ceiling. So I'm looking up, reach up, and then pull something down. I'm not leaning so much. I'm really just trying to reach all the way up and grab. So we're trying to get that nice big shoulder flexion, different than that overhead reach to the opposite side. Okay, last 4, everybody. And again. And 4, good. And now we're going to bring those hands to our shoulders. We're going to make circles with our elbows. So our shoulders, we don't want to think of moving. We want to aim for our elbows to move. So we're going to go nice and big. 1, hands are just resting. 2, and 3, and 4, almost like you have wings. 5, and 6, 7, and 8, nice and big. 9, and now challenging. 10, try and get them to kiss in front. Boom, and back. Good. If you can touch your elbows, that's pretty good. And 3, and 4, and 5, and 8. This is 9. Last time, 10, kiss in front again, boom. And now we're gonna rotate, tap, look over the shoulder. And this is where I don't want us to wiggle in the hips. So as you rotate, use a hand somewhere to help rotate your trunk and tap. So the feet don't move the position they're in, the hips don't move the position they're in on your seat. Just trying to rotate through the trunk. Excellent, you're halfway, everybody. Almost done warm up. Hopefully we're starting to get warm. And 5, good. Okay, last thing, here we go. Bear hugs, open up, try and spread your fingers as best as you can. High fives or jazz hands, and then we come back in, hug. Okay, other side. So now the opposite hand is gonna go on top and hug. If you can, really stretch this out, almost going back, like you're gonna give someone a huge hug and then open so we can get a nice big pec stretch here too. Open, closing, alternating that top arm as you hug yourself. And open. Nice, 2 more, everybody. And boom, and boom, good. Okay, go ahead and grab your dowel. We're gonna do 3 versions of this. I'm gonna demonstrate with the dowel for version 1. Okay, so if version 1 doesn't work for you, I'll show you another version after. So I'm just facing sideways so everybody can kind of see what's happening. We're gonna be doing a hinge, okay? So hinge version 2, which I'm gonna start with, is taking the dowel and pushing it into your chest. Okay, so we're gonna keep that nice long spine. And now I want you to think while you're pushing the dowel into your chest, we're gonna tip forward, keeping the spine long. And then you're gonna come back up, think of the nose leading up first, come back up to sitting tall. Okay, so this is version 1. This may not work for some of us, and that's okay. This will be version 2. Okay, so if this is something that you have in your practice, that's what you're gonna do. If you find that you can't do that without falling forward, I want you to have your hands on your lap. We're gonna keep the shoulder blades rolled back. Try and think of the abdominals drawing in, and you're gonna walk or slide your hands towards your knees until you can't go anymore without like a collapse. So we wanna stay up. And then if that's as far as you can go, you're gonna walk your hands back up to help yourself come to seated tall. So slide hands or walk them forward until you can't go anymore without rounding in your back. And then walk your hands back up. Okay, that's version 2, or well, version 1, okay? So that's version 1. This would be the progression from version 1. Version 3 is going to be arms up with a dowel. Okay, and this is if this practice here is like something you've been doing and you feel really good and it feels like a nice hinge. Or maybe you've been working with one of the coaches and they've helped you. Okay, so version 3, the hands have to be up above your head. We're still doing that same hinge. So my back is staying nice and long. Keep the arms up, keep the arms up. We're hinging as best as we can. And then we're coming right back up to sitting tall. Okay, the hands don't come down. All the way down, and then coming up, okay? So those are the 3 versions. Go ahead and pick what you're gonna do. I'm gonna demonstrate version 2 because I think this is where a lot of us will be. Okay, here we go. We're gonna do 10, 3, 2, and 1. So we're hinging, eyes are just gazing in front of you, and extend, think of getting taller. If you are at a different tempo than me, totally fine, keep going. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, if you're using the dowel, try not let your shoulders shrug up. We want to keep the neck nice and long. Okay, weight in the hips, weight in the feet. Breathing. And this is 7, good. 3 more, everybody, or around there. And 2. Last one. And awesome. Good. Okay. From the hinge, we are going to keep the dowel. And if you weren't using a dowel, go ahead and grab it. We're going to do a rotation with a push. So we're going to rotate, press with the opposite hand, bring it in, and then rotate to the other side. Rotate, push, rotate. So only one of my hands is going out. This hand is staying tight to my body. Okay, and it doesn't need to be for long. If this gets our balance off a little bit, it can be a quick push if we need to. Okay, otherwise I want to see nice and controlled. Okay, everybody's moving, I can see, so we'll just start the clock here at 2, and we're going to do 20 of these, 10 each side. Think of rotating through the belly button height. So trunk. Over halfway. And 6. That's it, everybody. Keep moving. Nice and smooth, like you're moving through water. 2 more here. And relax. Good. Okay, let's set that dowel aside. Get a sip of water. We're going to start our first circuit of strength, okay? So we're going to start with the 2 weights that we have. Once again, you don't have to use weights if you don't feel like it or your shoulders don't like it. The other thing I didn't mention is if you're unable to do both like arms at the same time with weight because you need to balance, just use one weight and you can put your hand on the rim of your chair, and we'll do one at a time. Okay. So the exercise we're going to do is a bicep curl to a press. Okay. And it's going to be a neutral press. So what that means is we're going to be turning the weights when we press. So that if you're using cans or even dumbbells, you're going to see the ends of the dumbbells like this and just keeping them like in that plane. We're not going to turn open to press. So they stay here. So we start down. We go fingernails to armpits, curl 1. Flip the cans to face forward 2. Keep them there, press, bring them back into where they were, and then just turn them to reverse the curl down. Okay, so if you need support, it's just 1 at a time and then down. Okay, so if you're doing the 1 at a time, your tempo might be a little bit different because you'll just do whatever on one side and then the other number on the other side. So let's start with 15 reps, okay? And if you're doing single arm, maybe do like 10 to 12 on each side just that you can catch up with time, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Fingernails into armpits, turn, press, bring it in, turn, and down. And fingernails to armpits, slightly turn, press. Good. It's a little finicky, it feels like, but once you start moving, you can make it nice and smooth. Fingernails to armpits, press, bring it back in. 4. Sitting tall. Okay, 15 is a lot of pressing, so do your best, hang in. You can always drop the weights if you need to, or wait a rep. You can always like hang out, or just do bicep curls to finish. The hardest part for most of us is going to be this press. Most of our biceps are pretty strong. Okay, probably switching sides for those of you doing 1, if you haven't already, just timing wise. That's it, everybody. Don't worry about being on my tempo. Just kind of count for yourself and we'll all end together when we're ready. Oh, my shoulder just cracked. I don't know if anyone heard that. It seemed really loud. And 4. Nice. And 3. I'm probably going over 15, but I just want everyone to have enough time. 2. And 1. And awesome. Whew. All right. We are not putting the weights down. So go ahead and do a hinge. If you need support in your hinge, grab something. This might be a little high, but Grab something to support your chest so that you can hang forward. Okay, otherwise you're gonna come into a hinge. We're still using these weights and we're gonna do a row. Okay, once again, if we're using one weight at a time, grab onto something, the rim of your chair, whatever, come forward and just do your one arm at a time and then come up and then you can switch. Okay, here we go. Sending yourself forward. Eyes are going to be on the floor. We want to keep the back of the neck nice and long. Abdominals drawn in, shoulders roll back. Squeeze. And squeeze. Think of that blueberry. Feet should be flat on your foot plates or on the floor. Same thing here. Let's do 15 if we can. Switching sides, if probably about now, if you haven't already, if you're doing single arm. Keeping those shoulders away from those ears. So the neck is going to stay super long. And awesome, good. Finishing up your set, wherever you're at. Okay, and then we're gonna all grab a kayak. We're gonna kayak. If we can all grab a dowel, and we're gonna kayak. So we have 1 minute. Okay, hopefully, I say this every time, but hopefully you're not on a couch like me, and you're gonna dip down as far as you can. So it's like you're in a boat and you have water. You're gonna dip down as far as you can to rotate and then come back up, rotate. So you're gonna see me cut kind of early, but I want everyone to dip down as deep as they can. We're not looking for this. We're not doing like a full canoe or a dragon boat move. We are staying upright. I want everyone to maintain that tall posture. 1 minute, quickness is invited, but I need to see fluidity. Here we go, 3, 2, and you are on the clock. Let's go. Rotating through the trunk. Breathing. Okay, keeping that nice form and that tall posture is key. If we go really quick and we get that to kind of throw out the window, we probably need to back off the speed a little bit and just make sure that we're still in that tall posture. But if you have it, then I totally invite you to speed it up. Okay, hips are not moving, feet are not moving. Find the rotation from your trunk. 20 seconds left. Breathing. 3, just hit my computer. 2, 1, and relax. Good. Okay, get a sip of water. We're on a 30-second break, and then we're doing all of this again. Starting with our bicep curl to our overhead press. If you started with a certain weight at the beginning, you can always change it. You don't need to stick to what you were doing at the beginning, because I'm just giving you a heads up. We're doing 3 rounds. Okay. All right, that was our 30 seconds. Here we go, nice and tall. Shoulders back, elbows stay in at the ribs. We're gonna bring it up, turn it 2, bring it down 3, and then undo the curl 4. Try and get to a full elbow extension right here. Elbow extension, yeah, we wanna try and get all the way up. Okay, keep that neck nice and long. So we don't want to look at the weights as the weights go up overhead. Try and not look at them. Try and stay looking forward. I'm over halfway on my count. So if you are doing single arm, probably pretty soon, go ahead and switch. Excellent. Keep going, everybody. Breathing. I'm going to do 2 more here. Let everybody catch up. And awesome. Good. Okay, get yourself ready for your bent over row. So get your support here if you need it. Otherwise, find your hinge. Everybody should have a nice long back of the neck. So we don't want to crane our head up. We want to be down. Roll those shoulders back. Feel where that blueberry is between your shoulder blades. 3, 2, 1. Elbows drive back and down. So down and back. They're not going to go right up to the ceiling. We want to keep that neck long. Where your elbows go, your shoulders will start to go. So we want to keep that gap between your ear and your shoulder really big. Squeezing those armpits. Feel those lats engaging. The muscles that we slapped to activate at the beginning of today. Over halfway. If you need to switch sides, now would be the good time. Okay, just a few more here. Three, 2, 1, and then slowly end that. Awesome. Okay, grabbing your dowel. Getting into your minute of kayaks. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Racing on the water. Let's pretend it's summer and we have better weather than we do. Let's pretend it's like in the teens for temperature. None of this 8-degree stuff anymore. Keep breathing. That's it. Rotate, rotate. You are halfway, everybody. Keep going. If it feels smooth and it feels good, and pick it up. Pick up your pace. Really get deep with that arm. Really dig that arm really deep down at your side. So it's like you're driving your paddle into the water. Keep moving, everybody. You have 10 seconds left. Two, 1, and this is time. Awesome. All right, woo, get some water, 30-second break. And we're doing this again. This will be your last round, and then we're moving on. It's pretty quiet with comments. I'll take that as a good sign. I do see people working, so that's good. All right, that was your 30. Here we go. Grab those weights. Curl to press, last time. Shoulders back, nice and tall. Slightly tuck that chin. Curl 1, press. Reminder, if the pace is too much or too fast, we do record this and it does get posted, so you can always pause and watch it later and pause if you need more time. That's the beauty of these classes, and they're there so you can do them anytime. So if you want to work out with me more than once a week, you can do that. Okay, I'm about halfway. So if you need to switch sides, probably do that at some point here soon. A few more here. Last time. And awesome, good. Okay, keep the weights in your hands if you can. Grab your support for your chest if you need it. Otherwise, we're coming right into that hinge. Nice long in the back of the neck. Roll those shoulders back. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and row 1. Elbows down and back. 2. If you can, think of your belly button coming into your spine. Push your feet through the floor or the foot plates. See if you can get a grounded feeling. This will actually help you with your hinge if you can get that feeling. I'm about halfway, so if you're doing single arm, now might be an opportunity to switch. Okay, here we go. About 5 more here. Breathing. And that's 5. Awesome. Okay, you are done with those today. So put those away. Grab your dowel for your last time on this round. Kayaks. 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice and smooth. As we get tired with this one, the tendency is to round the shoulders forward. So make sure you're getting nice and tall. With every 2 paddles or strokes, you're getting taller through the crown of the spine, crown of the head, I should say, over that spine. This is our endurance strength right here. You have 15 seconds. And 2, and 1, and time. Beautiful. 30 seconds, you're done with the dowel, so you can put that aside and go ahead and grab your band. This is probably going to be a lighter band. Some of us might not even use a band. We're going to be doing our butterflies with our hip abductors. So while you're resting, I'll just start so we have enough time to get through everything. So version 1, if you aren't able to move your legs out actively, we're going to treat this as a hip stretch. So you're going to have your hands on your knees and you're going to open up and you're going to get a nice big adductor stretch and then close it. So this is just if you have no control of your hip abductors. If you are in a chair where you don't have room to do that, I know we've had someone in the past where their chair was really narrow. The other option is to go ahead and take that figure 4 stretch and hold. This is a really good hip opener, okay? And we'll do each side. So that's version 1 and 2. Version 3, go ahead and grab your band, lighter band, wrap it around. I'm going to do a cheater hold just to save time. Sit tall, and we're going to think of opening and then closing the knees, okay? So we have all of our options. Here we go. So we don't need a timer anymore. 3, 2, 1, and we're off. This is we're just going to do 15 today. The other option that I didn't talk about, yes, Doreen, you can do that as well. So I was just going to say I didn't give it. If you have a little bit of movement in between your with your thighs, but it's not enough to use a band, you can put something in between the legs and drop it for sure. Thank you, Doreen. I just didn't see a whole lot of people needing that variation, so I'm glad that you brought that up. Thank you. And 4, sit up tall, 3. So most of us, if I was to see us, because obviously most of your cameras probably aren't showing your entire body like mine, I shouldn't see like a strained face. I should see just really light, gentle, nice neck. It should look like you're just hanging out watching me. Okay, so think of that, and that will help a lot of us get out of these neck muscles. Okay, awesome. Alrighty, grab one of your weights. We're gonna do a wood chop version. If you need any grip assistance, I'm not gonna be picky on how you hold this. If you have like, if you have some grip stuff going on, like do what you need to do. I don't really care how you hold it. If you have a weight though, it's probably going to be the easiest to interlace your hands if you can and just hold like the middle of the weight. Okay. Can or whatever, like just do what you can. Okay. We're going to chop from high, cross, and make like a diagonal. Okay, so we're going to chop up, and then we're going to throw it down to the hip. Up and throw it down to the hip. Okay, notice when I do this, I'm not falling forward at all. So I'm not coming into where I'm doing this. So the goal is to stay as tall as we can. So if that means we need to be not so aggressive with the throw, maybe we need to keep it smooth, then that's okay. I just need to see a nice tall trunk. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, we're doing 10 on each side. If you want to do the aggressive chop and you can stay tall, go for it. Make sure your breath is in there. No wiggle parties in the hips. Last one. Other side. And chop. Two more. Just to 10 on this one. Done. All right. These are your last 2 exercises. So we're going back to our either band abduction or an adductor stretch or dropping an object in between your knees or our glute stretch. 4 options. Okay, here we go. So if you're doing what I'm doing with a band and you have one hand on it, I highly recommend you bring another hand to your waist so that we know that we're sitting tall and we're not slouching. This is really good feedback. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. We're opening or we're dropping the object and putting it back up, or we're stretching. Okay, and if we're stretching, make sure we're not all in the shoulders. Make sure that you're keeping those shoulders away from the ears. Breathing. This is 15. Usually we do 20 with this, but we're just going to do 15 today if possible. 2 more. And excellent, you're done with the band. Grab your weight for the last time today. Okay, I'm going to start on my opposite side. So I'm going to start high right, low left. So if you want to switch it up, might be a good idea. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Stay tall. We're using that trunk to stabilize. One more. Excellent. Other side. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. We're almost there, everybody. Hang in. Nice, strong ones. Last 3. Chop that wood. And chop. Awesome. Good. All right, everybody. So recommended stretching for those of you that want to kind of stretch it out on your own. I would do a pec stretch at the corner, and then you could do a couple seated cat-cows and some shoulder rolls to end. I think that would be a really good thing to do on your own, okay? I'm going to stay on for a minute or two and answer any questions that anyone may have. Otherwise, we will be back here next week, and I hope that you all have a great week. Thanks for coming.